In 2003, Iraq was at the center of global attention, embroiled in a war under complex circumstances. President Saddam Hussein ruled the country with an iron fist, but international pressures, particularly from the United States, were mounting. The stated reasons for war revolved around claims of weapons of mass destruction and assertions that Iraq posed a threat to global security. However, there were also hidden objectives concerning the promotion of democracy in the Middle East. On March 19, 2003, the United States launched its military assault on Iraq. The operations began with intense airstrikes targeting government palaces and military centers. The strategy relied on air power to weaken the Iraqi regime before ground forces moved in. In the early days, American troops expected a swift surrender from the Iraqi army. However, the resilience of Iraqi forces surprised many, leading to significant casualties on both sides. On April 9, 2003, Baghdad fell into the hands of American forces, and Saddam Hussein was ousted. This moment marked a victory for the United States, while some in Iraq celebrated the dictator's downfall. Amid the celebrations, the country was plunged into chaos. The collapse of the regime coincided with the disintegration of state institutions, leading to widespread disorder and looting. As the state disintegrated, deep-seated sectarian divisions began to emerge. Shiites, Sunnis, and Kurds started to vie for power and influence. Armed groups began to form, leading to a surge in sectarian violence. In 2006, Iraq witnessed its worst wave of violence, with bombings and assassinations targeting civilians. These conditions reflected the failure to establish an inclusive government representing all segments of the Iraqi population. As violence escalated, new resistance groups emerged, notably Al-Qaeda in Iraq. These groups carried out horrific attacks against American and Iraqi forces, further complicating the situation. The United States attempted to bolster its military presence in Iraq by sending more troops, but violence continued to spiral. The streets were filled with bloodshed, and the Iraqi people lived in a state of fear and anticipation. Despite the chaos and violence, there were efforts to build a democratic system. In 2005, the first general elections were held in Iraq after the war. These elections were seen as a glimmer of hope for many Iraqis who yearned for a better future. However, the results led to further divisions, as there were no clear agreements among the various political factions. The new government faced significant challenges, including corruption and mismanagement, which increased public frustration. Despite the enormous challenges, the Iraqi people did not lose hope for a better future. By 2008, some areas began to witness a relative improvement in security, thanks to the efforts of Iraqi forces supported by the United States. Community initiatives started to emerge to promote peaceful coexistence among different sections. Additionally, some developmental projects aim to rebuild the country's infrastructure, giving hope to many Iraqis for the possibility of reconstructing their homeland. The Iraq War was not merely an internal conflict. It had wide-ranging implications at both regional and international levels. The chaos in Iraq led to the emergence of other terrorist movements in the region and heightened tensions between countries. The Iraq War remains a complex example of the struggle between democracy and chaos. While there were hopes for establishing a democratic system based on participation and consensus, the reality was fraught with challenges.